Hello YouTubers, Alaska Prepper here. Ladies and gentlemen, before we start, I wanted to take a minute to shout out a couple of channels that I think are great financial channels that pretty much keep it to the layman level, meaning that everyone should be able to understand what they're saying. Now this person here, Hersey Financial, does a great job at explaining what's going on in the economy and in the financial world in words that you can understand. He's a little more technical than I am, but that's for a good reason. It's because he understands the markets and the financials a lot better than I do. So I would recommend that you guys go check him out. I think you'll get a lot out of his channel. Another good channel to check out is Jay Bravo. This guy is awesome. He is a teacher by trade, but he also has a YouTube channel where he teaches us about the economy and about financials, and he does a great job, but he does it with a twist. He is very funny. So if you guys want to get a little bit of a laugh and learn something, Johnny Bravo is a great place to go. So go check these guys out. I wouldn't recommend them to you unless I thought that they were really good channels to go and check out. Now let's go back to our video. Ladies and gentlemen, as the government prints more and more money, once that money is released into the economy, that is what causes the inflation of the prices of the things that we pay. So whenever you see the government say that they're going to print money, it doesn't mean that price inflation is going to take its form onto the economy right away. It usually takes a little bit of time for that money to trickle down to those things that we purchase and use on an everyday basis. And as you know, the incoming administration is going to continue not only to print money out of thin air, but to ramp it up and make even more than has been made in the past, therefore diluting the purchasing power of the dollars that you have in your pockets now and the dollars that you will earn in the future. That is why it's so important to understand that money printing doesn't really serve anyone except for those that get it first. And as you can see here, as the title of this article says, food price inflation accelerates for 7th consecutive month. All of the money printing that's been done in the past is catching up to food prices now. And the money printing that is getting ready to be done here in the next several months, maybe years, is only going to add to food inflation. It is time to worry about food inflation. The Food and Agriculture Organization's food price index rose for a 7th consecutive month in December, led by dairy products and vegetable oils. Now you will see, ladies and gentlemen, that the things that are going up in price are the raw materials that are usually needed to make just about everything that we eat. The FAO food price index averaged 107.5 points last month versus 105.2 points in November. The benchmark, which tracks global food prices of cereals, oilseeds, dairy products, meat, and sugar, averaged 97.9 points for 2020, a 3-year high, and a 3.1% rise from 2019. The global food index was still down 25% from its historical high reached in 2011. Wow, ladies and gentlemen, it's still down 25% from its historical high, and I would say that it's pretty high right now. And one thing you have to understand as well is 10 years ago, right, 2011, the food prices in 2011 were high. But today, we are only earning maybe a couple $1,000s as far as median income goes than what we were back in 2011, 2010. So as the price of things have gone up, our salaries, what we earn for our labor, has not gone up nearly as much as what the price of things has gone up. Some people argue that inflation is not a big deal, that inflation is a necessary thing for us to have because we have a growing population. However, that really is not true unless salaries keep up with that inflation, which at least in our case here in the US, it has not. And I would venture to guess that salaries have not kept up with inflation in several other countries as well, if not most countries. It says here that vegetable oil prices saw the most significant jump, up 4.7% month on month in December, after surging more than 14% in November. Wow, isn't that something? The index was up 19.1% in 2020 over the prior year. FAO explained that soaring vegetable oil prices are due to ongoing supply tightness in major palm oil production countries. International trade was affected by a sharp hike in export duties in Indonesia. International prices for soy oil rose in part due to prolonged strikes in Argentina that impacted both crushing activity and port logistics. Cereal prices rose 1.1% from November, and for all of 2020 averaged 6.6% over the prior year. Now, ladies and gentlemen, these numbers are not small numbers. You know, like one-digit numbers like 6% or 4% or even 1% is really a large number when it comes to the price of food going up. Because the average person, if they get a raise at all, usually get a 1 to 2% raise in their paychecks. And for things to be going up 4%, 6%, in the case of vegetable oil, 14%, that is huge. The reason for the increase is that export prices for wheat, maize, sorghum, and rice all rose last month due to growing condition concerns in North and South America and the Russian Federation. The meat index increased 1.7% last month, while its average this year was 4.5% below that of 2019. However, it's on an upward trend, ladies and gentlemen. This is where we're going. The price of things are going to continue to go up. There may be some things that go a little lower for a bit of time, but trust me when I tell you, prices are going to continue to go up. The annual inflation in cereals reached 20%, the highest annual rise since mid-2011, when the Arab Spring was in full flow. And cereals, ladies and gentlemen, I think is the key, because cereals is used for so many things, including the feeding of our livestock. Edwards makes his feelings clear on who ultimately was to blame for the global tidal wave in food inflation back in 2011. Despite Ben Bernanke's denials that the Fed's QE policies caused rampant food price inflation in 2011, many economists, such as myself, believe that was absolutely the case. And I would say I have to agree with that, ladies and gentlemen. When you have more cash in the system, but production has not gone up to keep up with that supply of new cash in the system, then you have more money chasing the same amount of goods, which is going to make that same amount of goods cost more for you to purchase. Edwards summarizes his concerns best with the following statement: even in the richest country in the world, food poverty has become a real problem during this health crisis. This leaves us with the next imminent food inflation crisis, as central banks are mindlessly injecting a record $1.4 billion in liquidity into the capital markets every hour. Every hour, ladies and gentlemen. Soaring food inflation may result in social destabilization. The question is, where will it start? Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's a question that we'll have to wait and see. I've heard and I've read in the past that once a family has to spend 40% of their income or more on food, that bad things happen. Heed this warning, ladies and gentlemen, food prices are only going to continue to go up. If anyone here thinks that food prices are going to go down, please leave it in the comments as to why, because I'm always willing to learn. I just don't see how that's going to happen. Not only are food prices going to go up, but everything is going to go up. There's only maybe a few things that would stay where they are now or even go down some, right? And that would be technology-based items, because as you've heard me say several times, technology is deflationary. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you get something out of this. I'm going to leave the link to this article at the very bottom of the description of this video. Remember that today we're going to have a live stream at 12 noon Alaska time, 4 p.m. Eastern time. So hope to see you all there. I hope you're having a good weekend so far. Remember to be good to each other. When good people do good things happen. Remember to reach one, teach one, and repeat. If we all did this, the world would be a better place, and you know that it will be a better place. Many blessings to every one of you and your families. This is Alaska Prepper. I am out.